10.07 miles, 7 minutes, 16 seconds per mile, 154 beats per minute today. Getting out there for my run, going outside today because I just felt like running. I wanted to try out a different route, trying to stay away from people, trying to comply with all local and state orders, and stay consistent with all the written rules that have been kind of laid out, the official rules that have been kind of laid out for our area. They keep kind of changing. I'm trying to stay adapted, try to stay aware of what they all are. Just letting the legs kind of go for today as well. I knew that I was going to just kind of run and not worry about pace and just kind of run how my body and mind felt like running for the day. And so I ended up going a little bit hot compared to my normal low heart rate paces, but I figured that's okay. And then at a certain point, I was like, I'm going to throw some faster miles in there too, just to kind of feel that, just to kind of do that, because that's what I felt like I needed. And so I had some harder effort miles in there too, and those felt great. I just really enjoyed that, and I felt like I really needed that. The rules are definitely still changing though, although I think that what I was doing out there today was fine. As far as I'm aware, the mayor and her health commissioner still permit and encourage, and Chicagoans are allowed and encouraged, I think is the language that they used, to go for short walks or runs. And so that's what I did today. Stayed at a social distance by myself. I did see some other runners out there. I always tried to maintain distance, frequently running. Usually there's like a sidewalk, and then there's like a space, and then there's like that little part on the curb. I usually end up running on that little part on the curb before the road, or sometimes I just end up in the road. So as to keep distance from people, dog walkers, other runners, that kind of thing. There were a lot of cars out on the road today though, and so that one made it a little bit more difficult, because I also don't want to like freak out the cars or make the car people annoyed. So doing my best, stopping, slowing down, rearranging kind of where I am at as needed. So trying to just stay away from everybody. So I think that was okay. The route, other than some of the traffic congestion, there's a lot of stoplights. So I think I'm gonna try to find a different route, maybe another loop that I can do 2 times. Today's loop was like north 1.25 miles, basically like a 2.5 mile like square. But I did like 1.25 miles up, 2.5 over, 2.5 down, 2.5 back over, and then another 1.25 miles back up. I think I might do like 2 loops to make it a little bit shorter. I won't always go for 10 miles when I'm outside, but trying to keep it around the hour range. For today, I was out there for like 1 hour and 12 minutes or 1 hour and 13 minutes. So a little bit longer than I was kind of expecting, but I kind of needed that mental health run or day for today. While I was in the live stream yesterday afternoon, the governor was also doing his daily press conference. And I think someone was watching both the governor and me at the same time. And you guys were telling me that the governor mentioned specifically working out in gyms and condo buildings. So like exactly what I was doing yesterday. And the governor said it's not something that he'd considered or thought he would have to make like a specific kind of decision on, but he didn't think it was a great idea. And a lot of you guys mentioned the same thing too, although a lot of you guys were at least kind of understanding my rationale, which was I went at 4:30 in the morning, likely more than 3 hours since the last person may have been in there, and was by myself the entire time while wiping down all surfaces that I might come in contact with. So I took the precautions that I needed to. I feel like it's safer to be in there than it's safer to be in, say, the elevator in my building. For whatever reason, no one I always try to avoid being in the elevator with anyone else, but lots of other people don't seem to think that's a problem. So, there's a lot of inconsistencies and things that kind of people are like very like, they want to start getting angry about, and then other things that they're like, yeah, they don't even think about. And so, again, we've talked about like there's inconsistencies everywhere. I try not to get mad at them because people are just kind of like addressing the things that come up, right? And so I don't think I'll be going to the gym anymore. Because one, the governor doesn't think it's a great idea, although I don't think he formally like banned it or made a rule against it, but he doesn't think it's a good idea. I didn't feel great about it to begin with, so I will go back to going outside while I still feel it's safe and while I still feel like I could do it in a safe way, so that way I can do my mental health kind of things. And so that's just kind of the way it is. The other thing that I've been doing or I did because that's the first time I ran outside in several days, is that I ran with my neck buff on. So that's something that a neck gaiter, and something that I normally run with anyway, even just because when it's cold, it covers the face, helps keep you warm. But I ran outside with it for the most part whenever I was around like other people or other runners. And I just felt like it makes other people more comfortable, I think. I'm not going to buy like masks or anything, or try to buy masks on Amazon when everyone else is trying to buy masks for like hospitals and stuff. So I'll just continue wearing those, I guess, or having them on, so that way I can lift them up and cover myself if I'm ever around another person. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that once the temperature starts to rise, which it's starting to rise, or it will at least next week. So we'll be in much warmer temperatures, but maybe I'll just keep running earlier and earlier when the time of day or the temperatures of the day are lower. So we'll figure something out. Just trying to adapt and survive and kind of like comply with everything, stay safe. I mean, comply with anything is like the minimum. I also want to stay safe, which is like the next level up in terms of what me and my family are comfortable with. And I hope you guys are all doing the same. There's no charity runner for this week, and there won't be charity runners until like there's races again. And so this week, what my wife and I are doing, we're going to donate to the local food pantry again for this week. And I encourage you guys to do the same. A lot of you guys have been doing the same, or helping out in your local community, or just even if it's not monetary, checking in on your family and friends. And you guys have been telling me about that, and I just love to see that. We're all still staying together, even though we have to be far apart, so we can stay together in our virtual pack, which was a virtual pack to begin with, but it's even more like it's a meta virtual pack now, I guess. But let's stay making sure that we're taking care of our own communities, and also that we're taking care of each other, guys. That's all I have for today. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?